Hello, Nikki Carreon subscribers. I have some breaking news. Number one, I know a lot of you guys are gonna flock to my apartment in Bushwick driving a Squidward killing machine because I'm over here at the climax of January 2026 talking about Byler again. But I am happy to say this is my last time. This is my last time on YouTube talking about Stranger Things. I am done with this show. My love for it, I have taken it out behind a barn and shot it like old Yeller. Number two, in like 1 day from now on January 31st, I don't know what time of day it'll be, but I will be posting a video about why I went to the mental hospital in 2025. It is part of a crazy life journey that I have been wanting to share with you guys for a long time, but just didn't have like the right words to say it, you know. And if you're a little bit parasocial with me, you might have already asked yourself, hey, why did Nikki go to the mental hospital in 2025, huh? Was it because of their OCD? Was it because they're not engaged anymore? Where's that engagement ring? Well, all these questions and more will be answered tomorrow. And I really hope that you guys can glean something positive out of my story. You know, that's the whole reason I'm here, baby. News article number 3. I know Shane Dawson has been making another movie, and I'm making it my first priority to snitch on his ass this month. Yep, that's right. I'm talking Unhinged Shane Dawson Deep Dive Part 4, baby, okay? Coming this February. News article number 4. Hey, this is probably the least surprising thing that I'm going to say all day, but I have officially upgraded my pronouns to they, them, okay? This person right here, non-binary as hell. If you would be so kind, I would appreciate, you know, not being referred to as her. It's not the end of the world if you do it on accident, but I'm just letting you know, my preference, you know. You move to New York and then you don't have pronouns anymore. It's just like, it's all part of the journey, guys, okay? Number 5, I fucked up a significant portion of the audio on today's video. I tried to clean it up as best as I could, but it is a little botched, okay? Please forgive me. It will not be happening again. I love you guys so much. Let me just get into the freaking video. News channel out. Hey guys, the Stranger Things season finale was bad. Why am I talking about this? Because it actually is that deep. You know what? It was so bad that a large chunk of the fan base went into full-blown psychosis and genuinely believed that it was fake.
And everybody was trying to make me feel like I was losing my mind!
And that the real series finale would be coming out on January 7th.
I'm starting to believe in conformity game.
Everything that you have been told about Stranger Things Season 5 has been a lie.
Okay, conformity gate believers, I may have pieced a little bit more together.
Stranger Things didn't actually end, and everything I'm about to show you suggests that Season 5 actually has a hidden Episode 9.
Now, mind you, this is the biggest show in the world, so the flop is absolutely generational and a bit concerning, considering Netflix is becoming the puppet master of all media, which, by the way, I absolutely would have loved to be part of this mass hysteria, but I have played these games before, okay? Those who enjoyed BBC's Sherlock surely remember this same exact sensation occurring way back when.
Played these games before! I said I played these games before!
Whatever though, either way, this video is largely about addressing the immense amount of queerbaiting that the Duffer Brothers did with this show. Yes, I said what I said. Stranger Things queerbaited their audience. And before some of y'all start typing away, it's not queerbaiting just because Mike and Will didn't get together. That doesn't mean it's queerbaiting. It's so weird that you think that. Okay, I know some of y'all are typing that right now. Please keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle. All right? Can we be patient? Because I absolutely promise you that by the end of this video, I can convince you that this was queerbaiting. And not only was it queerbait, it was queerbait the likes of which I've never seen. Now, this is 100% a follow-up video from my Byler deep dive. So if you want to learn about just like the complete development of their relationship throughout the entire series, feel free to watch that, but you do not not have to have seen it to understand this video. But, you know, the extra reading, it never hurt anybody. Let's just say some of you guys are only getting a B-. So, with that being said, why is this all a big deal? Why do I feel like my hand has been forced into making this video when I know half of my audience just wants me to make a Shane Dawson deep dive, which is coming, okay? Come on, it's coming, please believe me. Well, I'll tell you. I believe that the general audience of this show, whilst being so intensely dissatisfied with the last 4 episodes, is simultaneously not seeing or completely unwilling to see that a lot of what went wrong and a lot of what did not make sense with the show feels like a plot hole, you know, or a waste of time, is literally because the writers chose to queerbait. Again, not all the issues arise from the queerbaiting, but oh, you're gonna be shocked by how many do. I am going to break down why queerbaiting Byler up until the last episode completely nuked the arcs of 3 main characters, Mike, Will, and Elle, which by proxy negatively affected the arcs of several of their friends and caused a huge lack of a major payoff with the main villain, Vecna, you know, and the Mind Flayer, all of which could have definitely been remedied had they not baked Byler way too deep into the plot where they had written themselves into a gay corner. Like, the problem is not that Byler didn't happen, the problem is how it was handled and how far it was dragged through the damn mud into the final lap of the storyline. This shit was like Gary in SpongeBob when he was about to fucking crash out, spitting he's out of control. Now, how about we start with the definition of queerbait for anybody like unfamiliar or just needs a reminder. Queerbaiting is a marketing technique for fiction and entertainment in which creators hint at but do not depict same-sex romance or other LGBTQ+ representation. The purpose of this method is to attract, parentheses, bait, a queer or straight ally audience with the suggestion or possibility of relationships or characters that appeal to them, while not alienating homophobic members of their audience or censors by portraying the queer relationship. Okay, so remember the queerbaiting recipe, because it is a sickening and toxic soup that will give you tetanus. Step 1, the suggestion of possible relationships. Step 2, hinting but not depicting. Step 3, the last and worst part of it all, the rustiest nail in the pot, if you will, the refusal to alienate homophobes.
They've been signaling that they're going to turn Stranger Things into the biggest woke nightmare ever in the existence of non-TVMA TV.
But of course, that male camaraderie just can't stay platonic. In recent seasons, it's exposed that one of them is probably gay, and all those heartfelt conversations that meant so much early on in the seasons, that vulnerability, it's all tainted because it just now focuses on him exploring his sexuality. Oh yeah, and Bert and Ernie are gay too. Can't we just have close male friends anymore?
Sorry, I know it's repetitive, okay? I just had to bonk, 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 drill it into your skulls. Because some of y'all are forgetting what this even is.
I think the idea that this is some sort of massive fucking disaster Game of Thrones, I think you're a fucking party queer if you actually think that.
Bye, Duffer Brothers. I'll be seeing you in hell, and you will be receiving a call from my therapist. Gring, gring, gring. Duffer Brothers, hey, it's me, Nikki's therapist. How about you stop queerbaiting and using AI?
Guys,
So
I have a problem, and it's that I'm busy. But it's not just that, I'm also lazy. And also, I eat garbage every day like a raccoon. And this had led me to the unfortunate habit of waiting until the absolute last minute to cook anything because I absolutely dreaded the process. But luckily, this week's sponsor, Hungry Root, had an amazing solution. I mean, as you can see, I'm smiling for an amazing reason. Hungry Root is a delivery service that has over 50,000 recipes to choose from each week, which makes it extremely easy for them to fill your cart with personalized recommendations based off of your taste, your goals, dietary restrictions, the whole shebang. thing. And you can get everything from smoothies to quick lunches for the kids to snacks to supplements. And Hungry Root gets smarter with every order as they learn more about what you love. For example, I personally have been enjoying a cherry granola non-fat yogurt bowl for breakfast every morning. But I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I took that cherry granola out of my Hungry Root box, oh, I started munching on it, okay? I couldn't resist. It's great in yogurt, of course, but by itself as well, mwah. And for dinner, one of my favorite dishes that they sent was the
coconut chicken.
I'm not even joking when I say this changed my life in such a big way. Like, would I normally eat something as delightful as this chicken? No way, not a chance. Cause I don't enjoy grocery shopping and I don't enjoy cooking very much at all. There's like 30,000 things that I'd rather be doing instead. Hungry Root truly understands me. And guys, I have great news for you. Hungry Root has an exclusive offer. For a limited time, you can get 40% off your first Hungry Root box plus a free item in every Hungry Root box for life. All you have to do is click the link below or go to hungryroot.com and use code WeAreSoBack. Go check it out right now. This might just change your life, okay? They have saved me so many times. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring me. Now back to the video.
If you watched my other video, you already know that Will has always been my favorite character. And regardless of whether or not Byler was going to happen, I wanted him to have an arc that gave him what he truly deserved finally. And did we get that? No. Will has had it incredibly hard ever since season 1. The kid is extremely traumatized, and on top of that, became canonically gay in season 4 and has to deal with the shame of it all, particularly in the 1980s of all times. Like, girl, can we pick a struggle for this guy, okay? Be gay or be traumatized, like, let's not do both. He's not it. Sorry, I'm like literally losing my mind. I'm mumbling. He is in love with his best friend in the whole world, Mike. That is a whole other layer to it all. That is like the inside of the Ferrero Rocher. That is the nucleus of it all. I think a lot of the general audience did not give a fuck about any of this and had grown tired of him because they felt as if he was weak and, you know, all he did was cry, which is something I don't agree with at all. I find him to be very relatable, and if that makes me cry, baby, then let me go cry. However, to say that Will had no control over his like bodily autonomy since season 1 is like a major understatement. There was certainly a lot of pain and misery radiating off of him. He brought a certain type of misery to the club that not everybody could get behind. Which is why when season 5 volume 1 dropped on Thanksgiving, it was extremely exciting and promising to see him happy and motivated by his love for Mike rather than depressed and, you know, crying out the damn window about it.
How did you know that Vicky wanted to
make out
to date?
But this shift in his attitude obviously made many people watching and really like locking in on his character wondering what that shift was. Like, what made Will suddenly think that he could perhaps have a chance with Mike? And up, we know that he thought he had a chance with Mike because otherwise he would not have had a conversation with Robin asking what the signs were to be able to know.
How obvious?
Let's say the snowball became an avalanche.
This, coupled with the fact that Mike and his girlfriend Elle appeared suspiciously platonic for 7 out of the 8 episodes of season 5, this gave the audience that was hoping for Byler to happen a lot of hope. And a lot of people, even people that enjoyed Mike and Elle being a couple, thought that perhaps they broke up off screen because the vibes were just that non-existent. Chemistry, bye. We don't know her. Seriously, Mike and Elle have count 'em,
2 scenes together up until the finale. And in neither of those instances did they kiss or hold hands or do something that was just like exclusively saying, yes, they are together. Whereas all the other couples in the show had very much been kissing mwah, 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 mwah. So the question is, why, if they were intended to be the end game couple, did they not make that exceptionally queer? Oh, Freudian slip clear. Especially when at the end of season 4, their relationship appeared to be extremely estranged, and it was never agreed upon that they even were like back together after their ginormous fight. In fact, the only reason why Mike was able to go through with telling Elle that he loved her after an entire season of him being extremely passive aggressive to her was because Will gave him his painting and lied to him that Elle had commissioned it for him. Will sacrificed his beautiful words, his art, and his own feelings to make Mike feel better about not being needed by Elle. Something that Mike explicitly said strains their relationship. Meanwhile, Elle is not made to feel anything other than a weird outsider and a monster by Mike.
You think I'm a monster too.
What do you do? What did you do? What have you done?
Meanwhile, in juxtaposition to that, Will tells Mike that he makes him feel better about being different, better about being an outsider, and that he can actually be himself around him.
But you make her feel like she's not a mistake at all. Like she's better for being different.
Like, are we watching the same show? This is so clearly a comparison, a parallel. I'm sorry, I'm getting mad. Like, I'm tired of arguing about this. Like, that whole thing was a romantic trope, the Cyranos trope. A romantic plot device where an eloquent but physically insecure, the Cyrano, helps a handsome but inarticulate rival woo their shared love interests by providing the romantic words, often leading to unrequited love, hidden feelings, and eventual revelation. Do not judge people for assuming that there would be a revelation about this. And you know, if you've seen the finale, you already know that this painting that was such a critical part of season 4 literally never gets addressed, never gets referenced, poof, bye. It's like it never even fucking happened. And here's where I can get y'all with the queer baiting isms that come with the Netflix official accounts, with the advertising, okay? Remember the 3 big things in the queer baiting soup? Remember them? Like, there was not a single official source that wasn't making this painting seem like it would be a big deal in season 5. Here's Finn saying what the Duffer Brothers said about it.
How is he this clueless right now? Like with the Will scene, like in the car, I was like, what? How? I remember asking the Duffers, like, why would he not know this? And they were like, don't worry, it'll pay off in the end.
Here's the official Stranger Things account posting about it. Here's another Stranger Things account replying to Noah Schnapp saying that he ships Byler. They literally even made a fuck-ass pop Funko of Mike holding this painting. And to make matters even worse, I bought that pop Funko. Hate pop Funkos! And now I just own this meaningless bullshit because it never amounted to anything. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to bury this in the dirt like a time capsule and dig it up only if and when a cast member finally snatches the Duffer Brothers freaking wigs off and exposes them for queer baiting the hell out of this, because I just know this was in the plans at some point, okay? And they got scared, they pussied out, because guess what? They care more about homophobic people than normal people with good values. When it came to Mike's love confession to Elle at that pivotal moment in season 4, if Byler was not meant to be endgame, literally, why did Will need to be part of that at all?
Mike, don't stop. Okay, you're the heart. Okay, remember that. You're the heart.
It's so fucked up. Like, this queer character is put on an arc
that is very heavily about him falling in love, starting from season 3, mind you. Okay, let's open our eyes again. He's put on an arc about finding love. And what do they do with him? They use him as a tool to prop up a straight relationship.
Leading us here, you're guiding the whole party, inspiring us. And see your coat of arms here? It's hard.
Seriously though, okay? Let's consider this. Not only did the writers of Stranger Things incorporate the oh so romantic Cyrano trope through Will's lie here, I would argue that Mike himself lied to Elle during this confession in season 4. Because he says, I knew I loved you from the minute I saw you. And this is just like straight up a lie. Because if we do a rewind to season 1, you would see that he actually hatched a plan to send Elle to the mental hospital via his mother after she helps them locate Will. And again, the problem here is not Mike confessing his love to Elle. The problem is that it is weak and easily debunkable. And it seemed like that was done intentionally because we are encrusted in the Cyrano trope. It's just not that compelling when you take all the evidence into account. The same thing can be said about the big monologue at the end of season 5, right before Elle blows herself up, which that's a whole other fucking problem, bitch. I am so mad about what they did to Elle. I am so fucking mad about what they did to her. Hi, Eno. Oh my gosh, this is my cat. This is my cat, Eno. Hi, buddy. Oh, you're so good. Sometimes it's gone. All right. You want to sit here? But don't start chewing on things. I'm gonna get mad. But if we observe the trajectory, right, of Mike and Elle versus Mike and Will, it's truly enough to leave your mouth agape. Because Mike and Elle spend almost the entirety of season 4 separated from each other, right? Whoop, they're not even in the same freaking room. Not only that, but they're fighting. Where is Mike during this time? Who is he actually spending time with? Will, okay? Heading into season 5, what's going on here? Mike and Elle are hardly in the same room together, and the relationship is again also like non-existent for whatever fucking reason, okay? Who is Mike actually spending time with? Will. What's going on with Will? There's this escalating storyline about him having to confess his love to Mike, okay? Like, you can't tell me that that means nothing. I mean, yeah, of course you could, because that's what plenty of people have been telling me. Yeah, none of this means anything because storytelling and writing just is completely irrelevant. Why would I ever even consider any of this when watching a show like Stranger Things? The Byler is baked in, okay? The Queerbait is baked in. They 100% set this up to be something that is possible and left room for interpretation when it comes to Mike's feelings. Now, a lot of people will argue with that. There's no room for interpretation with Mike's feelings. He is straight. Well, I really don't think that's true. And if we just take a look at some of this evidence here leading up into season 5 and in season 5, you might also realize no, there is a reason why plenty of folks thought, hey, this is all building up to a big plot twist where it's revealed Mike feels the same way about Will. There are so many questions about Mike's behavior that just go completely unanswered, so much so to the point where people who are just in the general audience who don't give a fuck about Byler or whatever, they also think that he's been fully just lobotomized as a character. And essentially all of the questions that need to be answered for him not to be lobotomized have to do with whether or not he is queer. For example, why in season 4 is it made known that Elle has told Mike through a letter in the mail that Will is making a painting for a girl that he likes, air quotes. Then the next interaction that we see between the two of them is extremely awkward on Mike's end. He's treating his best friend very weird. Why are we given the knowledge that Mike thinks Will has a crush on a girl, and then now he's acting weird. Like, it doesn't make any sense, okay? And then why do we have Mike behaving in a way that could so clearly be interpreted as being flirty? I understand a lot of people do not interpret it this way, but it is not hard as the creators of a show to say, hey, that's not what we meant. That's not true. And we know it's super easy because the Duffers have done it plenty of times. Not just the Duffers, but other shows too, okay? Wednesday's a great example, okay? They came out and were like, hey, just so you know, there's 100% not going to be a lesbian storyline in the show, okay? Just letting you know. I think that's fabulous. I think you need to not string people along when it comes to this stuff because it is very serious. Like, it is that deep. And like, why is it that the Duffers can so easily come out and say, hey, just so you know, Eddie Munson's not coming back next season, you know, don't get your hopes up. Or come right out and say, hey, just so you know, Jonathan and Nancy broke up this season and that's not to be misinterpreted. See how easy that was? You could also very easily do that with the relationship between Mike and Will. They were very aware of how many people were hopeful about this. They've made it known that Byler is a very vocal nation, if you could just call it that. So I guess what is the point of just kind of dragging everything along? Because not only does it cause the fans to suffer, it causes the character himself to suffer. And let's really sit with this for a moment and really acknowledge what the Duffer Brothers know and what they are doing with said knowledge about the queer audience, right? It's not unreasonable to say, hey, in season 5, a lot of people, lots of queer folks, they're on the edge of their seats wanting to know how Mike will be reacting to the painting lie and whether or not that will change anything between Mike and Will, you know? Like, if Mike knew those words were Will's, would he possibly maybe reciprocate feelings? And here's the thing, okay? If this was not going to change shit between them, they were just going to remain friends, right? It still deserved to be acknowledged. We still 100% deserved a resolution for it. And now, after having watched all of season 5, we know that this whole thing was just extremely disrespectful because it was dropped in a way that no straight romance has ever been dropped in this fucking show. Like, the question is, why did they think it was okay to string us along with this and then give no resolution? Do they think it was okay because this was a queer plot? Was it okay because it was gay and a lot of the audience was very anti-gay about this? Like, it's really leaning and teetering onto homophobia right here, honestly. And I'm sure a lot of people would, you know, argue and be like, no, like, there's no way anything that the Duffer Brothers have done is homophobic. I really do disagree with that. I really do disagree. And I'm not saying that the Duffer Brothers are like right-wing maniacs or something, or like actively pushing against like gay rights or anything like that. I'm sure the Duffers are fairly lived up, okay? I don't think they're full throttle freaking leftists just living that life Von Dutch, but like their actions through this show, showing how little they care about the feelings of the main gay character of the show and resolving his arc, is like very telling. Like, let's just take a look at the ingredients of Will's story because he did not get what he wanted in the end, okay? Let's think about this. They decided to write a show about a gay kid getting abused, bullied, kidnapped, hunted, starved, traumatized, possessed, burned, betrayed, abandoned, sidelined, ignored, and then rejected by the love of his life? Guys, come on. That is more homophobic than sending a clip of me making out with a girl at the club to my mom and seeing what happens. Like, I actually don't know if she would care, but you get what I mean. I'm trying to make a point here, guys. And like, I've really tried to like wrap my thoughts around this a lot to where it's like, oh, this is very orderly. This is very organized. I can't. It took me several weeks to try to like put this together because everything about what they did just makes me so mad, okay? What pisses me off the most, I think, like more than anything, oh guys, oh guys, this is it. This does a number on me. Is the Duffers crying like, oh, we couldn't have made Will get together with Mike. That wouldn't be realistic. What part of this show has ever been realistic? Like, genuinely, none of the couples are realistic. Like, the straight couples aren't realistic. Why can't the gay couple be realistic? And hey, I would argue that the gay couple would be more realistic than half of the straight ones. Is it really that realistic that Mike and Elle end up together? A couple that kisses before she even knows her name? A couple that has fought consistently over the same bullshit and their identity issues? Like, it doesn't make sense, dude. Also, for the love of God, you guys, I guarantee you this, gay people know that a lot of the time their crush isn't gonna like them back. Okay? That's not something we need to learn a lesson about. We don't need to learn that lesson, okay? It doesn't need to be realistic every fucking time. It's also realistic that sometimes it does work out. By the way, I find it really offensive that the Duffers think, oh, you know, people really need to see this and learn this lesson. Bitch, there's enough media about that. There really is. And listen, if you wanted to contribute to that media of, hey, you know, you're gay and like you just gotta learn sometimes your crush isn't gonna like you back, I guess you could do that. You could figure out how to do that in a nice way. That's not what you did though. That's not what happened here. What happened was that you gave Will powers only to immediately retract those powers and make him get abducted by his abuser again, and then have that abuser force him into coming out of the closet in the worst fashion possible, which made a lot of the audience completely turn on him again, because this coming out scene in season 5 is absolutely atrocious. It's perfect fodder for homophobes to go, Stranger Things has gone woke. Listen, there is a reason why season 5, episode 4, Sorcerer, is like one of the best episodes of the show ever, and that is shown consistently through the ratings, okay? It's because there was a beautiful, emotional, intelligent arc shown through that episode about queerness that resonated with people, even people that traditionally are not really too big of allies, okay? There's a reason why it is so highly rated, right? Okay. Sorcerer is a gay fucking episode. Will saves everybody's life by being freaking gay and by being in love with Mike. Then to have that a top rated episode is a miracle, okay? So the Duffers kind of just assuming like, hey guys, we can't do Byler because we don't want to lose the homophobic audience. I think that's even a bit outrageous because your storytelling, if it is good enough, yeah, I mean, you will still get backlash most definitely, but it's not going to be nowhere near the amount that you think it would be. I think there is more backlash against season 5 for just being bad than there would be if they made a very good, very sincere season that concluded everybody's arcs by incorporating Byler into the plot. I really think so. I really do think that if this was told sincerely and beautifully, people could get over it, okay? There's many people who are against it, but I think they would get over it, okay? Just as they got over Will being gay in the first place. Plenty of people did not want Will to be gay at all, but here we are, okay? We had to get to an acceptance point. But to dive a little bit deeper into like Byler interacting with this coming out plot, plenty of people point out that this coming out scene feels out of place. It feels too long. It feels like it takes away from the apex moment of the episode, like right before the series finale. And they're honestly right. The reason why it feels that way though is because they refuse to show us the vision that Vecna showed Will. Why did they not show us that vision? I'll tell you why. Because it was about Mike. It was about Mike, and they were like, we need to not have any more scenes at this point between Mike and Will because they have too much chemistry and there's too much writing on that. We've been laying it on too thick with that, and now we got to pull the rug out from underneath them, right? There's no reason why we shouldn't have got to see what that vision was, other than it would bake Byler even deeper into the plot. So then we were stuck with this fuck ass scene that comes out of nowhere and has nothing to do with anything ultimately, because Vecna never even tries to use his sexuality against him. Why? Because it would involve Mike too much, and then they wouldn't be able to do their stupid ass Purple Rain monologue with him and Elle. Genuinely, everything between Will and Vecna at this point has so much to do with Mike that they just had to yank out both of their plots and just be like, scrap them. These two characters, they're not interacting anymore after this. We can't do it. Does this make sense? I really hope it makes sense. I've gone completely off script at this point. I am just too angry about this. The fact that the Duffers get to feel like they deserve brownie points for putting in this coming out scene while absolutely fucking over Will and queer baiting gay fans is just, it's insane. And I can understand why a lot of people see this. They're like, hey, there was a coming out scene. Nothing homophobic here. No queer baiting here. No, this is like a very like Trojan horse, deep seedy version of queer baiting. Like, this is why I think it's the worst case of queer baiting I've ever seen, because it is absolutely Trojan horse to high hell and back as supposedly being progressive when it is not, in my opinion. Okay, coming from this non-binary person in New York City who, you know, has their fair share of gay moments, just my opinion. Oh, and I forgot to mention, oh dear God, how could I, that they have Will boil down his lifelong love for Mike in this speech to just being a hallway crush. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Why is everybody else's love in this show taken seriously except for Will's? Will literally unlocked powers through his gay love, okay? Now, but we're backtracking though. We're saying, oh, actually that was just a hallway crush. Girl, what are we talking about here? Even if Will was just ultimately going to be rejected, why do we need to water down and lie and say, oh, it wasn't that deep? Yes, it was that deep. We've been watching this unfold since fucking season 3. You could argue season 2. It is that deep. Every single person in this show has had a reciprocated love interest except Will. Let's really fucking think about that. Why did they put him in this position to begin with? And if they were going to put him in this position, resolve it way sooner, okay? Because why is it that in the series finale, we're gonna have a 3-second acknowledgement between Will and Mike about the whole crush situation? A 3-second interaction that wasn't even gonna fucking happen. Noah Schnapp had to bother them and prod them into incorporating a little scene between the two of them where it's acknowledged. Like,
friends? No thanks. Best friends.
What? Like, this was nuked so badly, because when I say like the connection between Vecna, Will, and Mike could have easily been explored and made everything make so much sense, like, I don't even know how to get more serious about it. Like, for fuck's sakes, dude, Argyle and Mr. Clark had reciprocated love interests. What are we doing here? Their plot wasn't even about that. It's also just blatantly like a weird, like, stereotypical thing. Like, oh, don't worry, Will's a safe gay person to be around because he's not gonna actually try to get his romance. He's not actually gonna try. Don't worry. He knows his place. What are we doing here? What is the message that we're sending here? Don't piss me the fuck off. We've seen multiple times how Mike has woken Will up from a trance, very similar to Lucas and Max. But for some reason, because this is gay, we have to be satisfied with it was never about him. It was always about me.
And it was never about him. It was about me.
Instead of, it was never about the music. It was always about you.
The whole time, I didn't even need it. I just needed you.
This is just fucking ridiculous, dude. You had to prop up a straight relationship using a gay boy's love, and then you just abandon it. Oh, but he has self-love. Okay. Bitch, we could have been there a long ass time ago. Why the fuck are we doing this? Be so for real, guys. Be so for real. We got zilch from Mike and Elle's relationship this season. I would argue last season too. Why? So that they can queerbait. Oh my God. I don't care if Mike and Elle end up together. If you just write it better and stop shitting all over my favorite character. Speaking of Elle, ooh, guys, why the fuck did they make her whole existence about men? The conscious effort that was made to make this bright young woman's character about anything other than her growth, her independence, and the love, the bonds that she was attempting to create between other female characters is wow. Okay, like now, you guys, I'm gonna sound like the friend that's too woke. I think this is misogynistic. I think it's misogynistic, okay? Why? They bring back her sister Callie, okay? That means so much to her, right? Into the plot. We love that for her, okay? We know damn well she feels bad about herself. She feels like a monster. She does not feel accepted. Let's explore that, all right? Instead, we bring back Callie just to make her unlikable and then to kill her. Okay. Also, by the way, a character that was already suffering from the hands of misogyny and racism. All right. Oh boy. But yeah, sure. Let's just bring her back so everyone could dogpile on her again. Okay. And then more importantly, okay, her relationship with Max, her best friend, right? Why did we abandon this? Why are we abandoning this? This was so integral to season 3 and 4. And like, again, it's just another huge plot element that's just whoop, abandoned because we gotta retcon everything now. Why are they retconning Elle's relationship with Max? Why is it all of a sudden not important? Because Mike's gotta be the person who's the only person who's ever understood her now. We can't explore their relationship again because what did Max tell Elle? That there's more to life than boys. There's more to life than boys. And also to not pay attention to what Hopper wants, what Mike wants, but what she wants. We can't revisit those themes now though, mama. Cause guess what? Mike and Elle have to be endgame, okay? We can't make it so like it doesn't make sense. Retcon that character growth my girl was going through. I think this is a fantastic character that is just like, again, it's just somebody else that they just completely flopped. Why? Yeah. Once again, yeah, it relates to Byler. And like I said earlier, in turn, this also negatively affects Max's arc as well. Because we're not using time with her wisely, you know? I think the very easy fix for a lot of these character issues is to, first of all, like, let's not even get Holly involved at this point. Let's have Mike get kidnapped by Vecna, okay? Have him be lost in there with Max. They can bond together. We can see and finally find out what's going on in Mike's head. We could see his fears, whatever the hell they may be, you know, regardless of whether or not they have to do with liking Will, which, of course, would make a lot of sense. But, you know, it's like, how can we do that when we put Will and Mike in the same room, they have too much goddamn chemistry? How do we do that? We gotta separate them. There's also an argument that I could attempt to make here that the reason why we're not exploring more of Henry's past is because his storyline has a lot to do about love and a love interest and might too obviously be paralleling the relationship between Mike and Will. That's kind of a conversation for if you've seen the play. By the way, oh my God, guys, that's a fantastic play, but did they incorporate it into the show at all? No, they just left it to be confusing for like literally anyone who hasn't seen it. Like, and even if you have seen it, honestly, very, very little of it gets, you know, directly talked about in this show whatsoever, dude. And at the end of the day, you know, what would we really do with Elle? We just had her kill herself. I think that's not cool at all. I think that's positively sending the wrong message, especially when you take into consideration the Duffers' explanation for it, okay? They went on record to say this dumb bullshit, basically saying that in order for the friend group to move on, they needed Elle to go away and that she just represented childhood magic. Girl, we just had a whole full-blown season of her getting bullied to high hell and back. Then this season, okay, the solution to my friend suffering and stuff, yeah, it's just for me to kill myself. What? Absolutely awful, atrocious, boring writing, dude. There's so many characters that could have and should have died. Point blank, period. I don't think Elle was one of them. I think Elle and Will were like #1 priorities for them to like have a very meaningful ending that did not involve death. I think a death scare would have been fantastic. And to have other characters die, I think this is absolutely awful. Just awful treatment of Elle. Like the scene where she kills herself and there's this whole purple rain vision, you know, with Mike, which by the way did not even canonically happen, okay? Duffers have come out and for some reason said, oh, this was all in Mike's head. Like there was no actual interaction. Like in his head, basically. The show does this retconning of, oh, you're the only person who's ever understood me, okay? But in these flashbacks in the scene, Will haunts the narrative so goddamn much they cannot even edit him out. He's in numerous scenes. Love scenes between them. Absolutely atrocious, guys. And if you really think about it, the only reason why Mike thinks he's the only person who's ever understood her is because of the painting lie. Oh God, the painting lie again. Because Will had the whole speech about, oh, you make her feel like she's not different. Like being different is a good thing and all this. Like none of that has ever actually been conveyed to Mike from Elle in the show. And look, there was also a third road we could have gone down, which is Elle and Will. Neither one of them end up with Mike. I think that could have also been a good thing. Like the two of them unite as siblings and they defeat Vecna together because, like, let's face it, Elle and Will are the like #1 most bullied people by Vecna. So that absolutely makes sense for them to team up. And how about their bond grows? And how about their bond with Max grows? And how about Callie sticks around? And how about we kill Jonathan, Nancy, and Steve? Sorry, I love them. I really do. I really do. But guys, some of them gotta go. Some of you guys gotta go. Watching this go down in the theater was absolutely fucking infuriating, by the way. Oh my God. I was with my friend Nicole watching this and like, I wish so badly that I could have enjoyed this series finale the way that Nicole did, like having a good mood for the rest of New Year's Eve. Bitch, I was in a bad mood for the rest of New Year's. I was like screaming about this finale at 4 a.m. at a damn hot dog cart. Another great thing that would come out of actually like exploring all these avenues is potential for more of like a sibling bond between Mike and Nancy, who I think Nancy has just completely been flanderized to hell and back. Like there is no bond, no love going on between those two at all in this final season. It's just sad. It's just a very, very sad end. I genuinely could keep talking about this forever. Like, you know, there's so many elements to this. Like, Jesus Christ, if we just took the opportunity to talk about the painting more this season, we could have gleaned so many plot elements from this image alone, you know? Lots of fan theories were going around about a Thessala Hydra being involved in the final act. No such thing occurred. We can't talk about the painting because then we got to talk about Byler, you know? With that being said, I have to stop talking at some point. I don't think I'm even gonna get anywhere. I think everyone's gonna hate this video, to be honest. I feel like none of it made sense. I'm just mad. Let's thank the patrons, guys. Oh my god. Let's talk about the base nerd tier. We got Faye, we got Rufem, AJ, Ahila, Alexandria, Amanda Roberts, Amelia, Anna Staunton, Boogmutt, Backer Ramsterin, Baldur's Babe, BB, Bioket, Baho BB Babe, Boney, Bubbly Fox, Casey H, Cecil, Cersty, Clyde, Dimmy, Dory, Emin, Emily O, Georgie, Gollum, Gramps, Helen Mellerhartz, Grace Squiggle, Gramps, Hey, Hudson Cruz, Jake Gross, Jeremiah, Julia, Caitlin Payne, Kat K, K Money, Kelly Jorgensen, Key Caballero, Kiwi Me, Lane, Lauren, Laylabot, Levi Rogers, Lolocat, Luchadork, Mackenzie Maddox, Maddie, Milana, Mia Martinez, Miffy, Melina, Nasta Crochets, No Period, No Cantaloupe, Nug, Ocean Vermin, Popsmats, Rachel Stanley, Sabrina AG, Salem, Skylar Host, Stella Enrique, Sweet Ichigo Art, Tacky, Vanessa, Viner, Wyatt Million, Zayla Bobela, Yassi B, Cameron Kiger, and then we have Cool Nerd Tier, Abby, Annalise, Brooke, Chola Tupon, Coochie Slayer, Jesus, Joaquin Alatorre, Joshi, Kirby, K-Jax, Lee, Linton Johnson, Maddie Rockowitz, Maribel Luna, Marley, May, Rennie Pooh, Ricky K, Roy Salgado, Sean McLeish, Serenada Wright, Zubob, Zugi E, and that is everybody. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I love you guys so much. Thanks for putting up with my bitch ass in this video. Like, seriously, I give this this is like a Z tier video, guys. God damn. I'm sorry, okay? I promise the next one will be better.